Hello, everyone. How are we all doing today? It's a great opportunity being here once more to present to you and to show you some awesome things Microsoft is building for us. And of course, we've been looking forward to this session. As we all know, AI has been a thing of awesome, I would say, ideas. A lot of people have been building and doing a lot of awesome stuff using Microsoft AI, and today is no different. Today, we also want to talk about an interesting topic today, right? Want to talk about an interesting topic today, and of course, you know that whenever we host sessions like this, we definitely have wonderful speakers in the whole session for us, right? So I will just indulge you all to pay attention. Take, if you have a pen or paper, write something or listen, jot something you understand, so that you can participate and get full details of the session. Anyway, before I go ahead with the topic, I'd like you to let us know where you are joining us from. What part of the world are you joining us from? I'd like you to give us an intro or just let me know where you are joining us from, right? Awesome. Okay. At this point in time, I think it would be nice to talk about the awesome topic which we are speaking on today. Um, it's been something that we all have been looking forward to, like I said, and of course, when you see topics like this, or when I see topics like this, I'm always excited because I know I'm going to learn a lot, right? So, the session for today is none other than developing an audio enabled generative AI application. And in this session, we have an awesome leader. In fact, there are words, so many words to describe him. But I mean, he's been really awesome. He's been really great. Um, we have Microsoft MVP Imoetuk, who has over 11 years of experience in the IT space. He's also a technical architect with expertise in cloud and on-premises infrastructure management. In fact, he has also taken on roles like system administration, DevOps, first-hand technical support, and project management. And the beautiful thing about this is, with all of this extensive experience that Imoetuk has, designing and implementing of workloads across private, public, and hybrid cloud solutions is also something he has done. He has even led teams across this, work spaces. So that is one really thing I do see in our awesome MVP. And also, as a senior technical architect, he also likes to focus on developing cutting edge cloud solutions, leveraging his expertise in cloud IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, DevOps, and security to deliver projects aligning with strategic business objectives. So, I mean, MVP1 is not just technically sound, he's also one of the awesome leaders of the Microsoft Azure community. And today he's going to be taking us on this interesting topic. So I'd like to bring to the stage MVP Imo. Hello, MVP Imo. How are you doing today? Yeah, hello, MVP Imo.
Promise, yeah.
How are you
Thank
doing
you
today?
very much for having me. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Awesome. Because I mean, the topic outlined for today seems to be something I've always been looking forward to. Generative AI is becoming a very wonderful cloud space,
Yeah,
and it's interesting tapping into such I would say, such technological area space. And for the topic which we have today, which is developing an audio-enabled generative AI application, I am looking forward to how I'm actually going to implement this myself, for quite a number of reasons. But of course, I have my pen and my paper here, and I'm ready to jot down as you take us all on this session. So
Okay.
I'd like to say thank you very much, MVP Moore, for handling the session, and over to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Promise. Thank you, the audience. Thank you for joining, and I hope you find this section interesting and also learn along with me. Before I proceed, I would like us to Promise I already done the introduction, so I don't need to repeat myself on that. So at least a lot of you know me in the community and even in the tech space. So today marks about 23 days of this study series. We started, I think, in the month of July in the Azure community, Nigeria. So if you have not been a member of the community, I would just encourage you to go to the Meetup page. Promise is going to share the link. And also, we also have a WhatsApp group where you can join and all that. So today's topic is about developing an audio-enabled generative AI application. And before I go ahead, I would like to share the learning part so you can learn along. Microsoft has the learning part prepared for us on the Microsoft Learn. So I am just going to drop it in the chat. So you just click there and maybe have your laptop with you and learn along. So then we move down to the proper agenda for today. Promise, can you go to the next slide? Okay. So agenda is that we are going to walk you through the introduction and why audio-enabled AI matters. And we're also going to have an overview of Azure AI Foundry, look at the speech services and deploying a multimodal model. And also we do a kind of a lab section which has some hands-on on developing an audio-enabled chat app. Then we also share the resources that will help you to maintain the level of learning and the energy, and also we'll take questions and answers. So moving further, we all know that we are in the age of AI, and the way we do things is different from the way we do things traditionally in this age of AI, even the way we work. So AI is actually influencing every of our decisions, even at work, even at home. Even a lot of us already been using a lot of AI-enabled devices and IoTs, even in our home. We know the likes of Alexa, we know the likes of a lot of them that enables power our digital experience, even at home and even at workplaces. So having an AI-enabled voice is actually a very good approach to making AI very useful when it comes to audio. So now, when generative AI models make it possible for us to build an application like this, and that offers intelligent chat-based application that can understand and reason over the input that we supply. So when we talk of traditional, maybe text input, interacting with the AI models, but these multimodal AI models actually is becoming increasingly available nowadays, and it makes it possible for chat application to respond to audio input as well as text. So you know the difference. We have just the usual traditional generative AI. We text in only the text input, and that is not a multimodal feature. But the multimodal models has the capability of taking in both the text input and the audio input. And that's what we're going to deploy today and walk you through some of the steps. So now for voice is the most natural interface when it comes to human endeavor. It actually gives you a way to more accessibility and inclusivity. and also enable you to interact even in the society you find yourself. So with this AI passing in a text command to maybe to interpret or to summarize on audio text, you see it do that for you. Now, generative AI plus audio offers us a richer human-like experiences that enables us to deploy and interact with our applications as if you are talking to a fellow human being. So the diagram showed us, let me see, I think my screen is, let me bring up the other screen. So if you can see, so here we have the chat interface. We have the AI being the offers readiness reading assistance to people. That is the voice, the audio enables. For accessibility, is also offer that it offers you an interface whereby you can actually chat and pass in your command. And this feature is also integrating into our day-to-day applications, such as if you are a fan of using Microsoft Word, Microsoft 365 suite as a whole, you realize that all those business applications are integrated with AI. So the more you interact, this AI enables you to interact with it in a more efficient way, and also make you to be more effective at your work. But then, being that you are using AI doesn't mean that the human interaction or human way of doing things should be taken off. AI is bound to make mistake. Do not forget that. So in all what you do, always verify the AI result before applying it. So now moving further to what we have today. Let me take my screen back. So yeah, we see that you have the natural interface. You offers us all these features. This is what AI can do, generative AI can do for us. So moving further, we have let's take a look at how to, let me see. This is okay, we're in the right place. So now an overview of Azure AI Foundry. So how are Microsoft housing this or making this available to us? So now we understand that AI Foundry is your go-to place when it comes to Azure AI services. Anything you need, all the models, there are about 58, over 58 AI models you can find in the AI Foundry. You can take a look at it. And Microsoft also offer a page where you can monitor the leaderboards based on models adoption and popularity, and also based on certain factors like cost efficiency, model performance, and all that. So I'll look for the link and share with us. So now on the screen, we have that Azure AI Foundry is a unified platform that offers you the opportunity to build and manage and also deploy AI applications. We know this already. Then the speech service, which is mostly what we are going to be looking at today, is in other well-run, also offers you a tool for you to build speech to text and also provide you other speech related functionalities. Then the relationship between these two is that while Azure AI Foundry serve as a platform where you can deploy a speech-enabled models, the other way, Azure AI Service, Speech Service offers you the core speech technologies that can enable you to integrate into the applications you are building. So the two platforms are actually different. From the diagram, we see that we have Azure AI Foundry, and also don't forget that Azure AI Speech Service also have its own studio. You can play around the Azure AI Studio and also explore it and see how it looks, which I would like to maybe take us through that. If you look at my own interface, we have within the AI Foundry, you can see more services and you can go to deploy a speech service. So once you deploy the speech service right here, it provides you with an interface where you can interact, like a studio where you can interact with that speech studio that you deploy. So moving further, let's check out the other slide. So now, how do you now deploy multimodal model that powers an audio-enabled application? Microsoft has three most popular model that powers this, and they are, we have the 5.4 generation 5.4 family is a low budget, not just low budget, lightweight model that can enable you to deploy your application in few seconds. Then we also have the, but then you must, the one with the voice feature is the 5.4 multimodal instruct. So this is the one you need to deploy. It is fully optimized for reasoning, grounding, and following instructions as you pass through it. They also offer you the ability to pass in text, images, and structured data. Then we also have the OpenGPT 4.0, OpenAI GPT 4.0, which is available on Azure AI Foundry. So you can use any of these three depending on what you need, depending on your need. But for today's section, we are going to be using the 5.4 multimodal instruct model to deploy our AI-enabled, our audio-enabled application. So you can go, if you're looking for something a bit cheaper, but faster, smaller, and also cost efficient, you can go for OpenAI GPT 4.0 Mini, which is quite good. I've tried out before. It's quite good and efficient as well. So that's that. I do not have too much slides, so we're going to just do the demo, walk us through the demo, and then and understand the process. So now, before I move down to demo, Microsoft has a link for us which has the walkthrough that you can use to go through the exercise, even deploy yourself at your leisure time. You can actually do that. So I'm going to look for that link. Okay, I have it open on my screen. So we have that. I'm sharing my screen. Promise, can you see my screen, please? Let me increase the font size. So from the learning part, which I shared the link before starting the section, you can actually navigate to this exercise. Is quite there. So Microsoft provide you with this walkthrough, which I'm going to share the link right now in the chat.
Yes,
So you
Imo, I
can,
can see your screen.
okay. So you can walk through at your leisure time. Now, here, developing an audio-enabled chat app is actually an exercise that leverages 5.4 multimodal instruct generative AI model. So, and you all know that once you deploy your AI resource and AI Foundry resource, deploy your project, AI Foundry project, the next thing is for you to move on to developing your applications. And you can develop your application using several SDK, such as Python, .NET, JavaScript, and even for TypeScript as well. But for the purpose of this lab, according to the way Microsoft structure it, you're going to be using Python. Now, to get started, first thing first, if you look at the instruction, you need to deploy the resource that, in this case, I'll call it like the infrastructure part of the lab. You need to deploy this. What are you deploying? You're deploying the AI Foundry resource. You're also deploying the resource group if you don't have one to use. So after that, you move down to creating the client application and passing all the following along and also doing all this stuff. So now we need to move down to my terminal. Confirm if you can see my screen. Sorry. So now here in my terminal, I have a folder which I've created already, and that folder has infra deployment. And I'm also going to, when it's time to deploy an application, I will add an application folder. Let's say, let me add it at once. So you should also do same for every project. You need to have a specific folder where you actually carry out your development. So audio-enabled app is what will be the name of the name of the folder. I've already generated my own um, Terraform code that I'm going to use for the resource deployment. So although I've tested it before to see that it works, so I'm going to delete this and also make sure that everything is tidy up. So now I have my modules. These are AI Foundry modules and the resource group modules uh, talking to the main or all the Terraform files within the root directory. So that is that. Now let's go back to the portal to the instruction page to see that. Now you should also bear in mind that not all the models are not available in all regions. So you need to be aware of that. So when we create, we're going to exploit. Bear in mind that there's difference between AI Foundry and AI Ops. Now AI Ops, if you want to bring in, develop your own, maybe your own models, and you want to explore models that has to do with open source that are not directly found within the AI Foundry hub. And you can leverage the hub to that are not directly found in the AI Foundry central environment and leverage hub to get that done. So let's go to our terminal. I'm going to run the Terraform init to deploy the resource and get that. So what we are deploying is just the Foundry resource and the resource group. The 5.4 instruct is not available when it comes. I try to look out for the Terraform modules, but it's not available. So we manually deploy the model. So let's do, before we do, let me go to the application folder, the infra deployment folder. So now run the Terraform init. So it will initialize the modules and all that. So, but then before that, now you need to bear in mind that, like I mentioned before, what you need, part of the things you need if you want to deploy it on your own VS Code, you need to install Python 3. You need to have Python installed on your system. You need to have active Azure subscription. If you do not have one, you can easily just simply sign up for the 30 days trial, a free trial for Azure, and be careful what you deploy so you don't you don't incur a cost for yourself. So now our infra is initialized. So let's do Terraform plan and then deploy it. So that will take a look at the stuff. Now let's apply to deploy those resources. Let's use the auto approach. So the resource group details are defined already. So let's watch out for it to finish deploying. Now, what you also need is, okay, I spoke about okay, yeah, let's wait for that to finish. But on your own, you need to go through this and get this is the GitHub, the pre-built code that Microsoft has already made it available for us. You don't need to clone this. Let's go to the GitHub link. Okay, I think I have. Let's see what is being created and what has not been created to add and to this. Let's get the leadership cognitive disease. Man, okay. I found rename var dot inline 2 source community main. Okay. Let me just quickly verify stuff for you. And the name is coming. Let me pick this. It's quite there. Community account. So let's go to the main this and check the AI Foundry. Depends on this and so we have the resource group and this is picked. Okay, the model look correct, but I'm not sure where the dependent comes from. Okay. So let me just replace that name and then rerun Terraform init or so. But then if that failed, you now when you are let's walk you through this on the portal as well. So when you are in the GitHub repository provided by Microsoft, you're going to see the lab instruction and all that. So the best part is to clone this into your system, or you use the PowerShell, that the Cloud Shell that is provided according to the instruction. It says you should use Cloud Shell to do that. But now for the AI Foundry, you can create one if you want to create it through the portal. So select your subscription and then the resource group. Resource group get created from that Terraform file. So the name that we want to use is let's see, audio-enabled resource. Audio-enabled resource. So you put it in the ECOS. The project name or can provide it as the audio-enabled project. So next one, for now we leave everything open, but in a real production environment, you might need to restrict and pass stuff through endpoint private network. So you don't need to leave this open. So we just go to go next and create it. Now for you to also access all this, Azure AI Foundry also has its own URL, ai.azure.com. Here you can also create it directly, create the model without having to create this first. So let's finalize. Let's see. Okay, and I need to change that name. Let's say demo. So now we create it. So once the resource is created, you can actually check, you come to your, but for now, you can actually explore let's explore the catalog that we have, the catalog of models that we have here. You can see that the model leaderboard shows models according to their some specific categories such as quality, safety, cost, and throughput. So yeah, this is the one we are going to use for this deployment. 5.4 multimodal instruct is what we are using. So right now from here, I will be able to deploy using that, using the resource I will just created. Let's finish. Well, we'll just use this one. So you can take a little while to finish. Okay, so the resource is created fully. Now let's go to, if you open here, you see the project name. To access this, we need to go to the AI Foundry portal. Now here we have the endpoint which you are going to require in your application. So usually you need to copy your endpoint and save it somewhere. Your API key, if you want to deploy on real life application, you require endpoint and API key and the model name and version. So now if you go to the model here, under my assets, so you can deploy a base model using the stipulated 5.4 instruct that we need. Copy this and search for it. Yeah. You can deploy, proceed and agree. Bear in mind that you're going to incur some costs, but you need to, and you have to change the name. Deployment name can be audio-enabled model. So yeah, you want to customize, such as changing maybe changing the AI resource, because if you have another one, we have one which is tied to this, which is the one we are using now. If you want to do what you want to do, maybe change the deployment type. I'm not sure we have the opportunity to. Okay, so let's leave it at global and then deploy it. So after deploying those resources, it's time to proceed to um, deploy the application. Now the models has been deployed. So here you can play maybe on the playground. You can experiment it and see how it looks. Yeah, now even despite that, this multimodal 5.4 multimodal instruct support the speech, you need to deploy a speech service to be able to use it. If you want to go through the portal yet, but we'll come back to that. So you should walk you through how to deploy to the portal as well. So here now we need to create the application. We need to just quickly clone this guy. I've already have let me clear my screen. Have my folder created, so I'm just going to navigate to the Audio-Enabled app folder. So git clone that stuff. Git clone. Okay. So it will clone that into this folder now. Here you can expand this to see. Here we have the lab files, and Microsoft has already loaded some of this in this, because I think the learning part has about up to 9 modules, which you can explore at your spare time. You can go to the and analyze text, building Q&A, language, text classification, but we are going to deal with this particular guy here today. So what we need to do is to navigate to this particular folder. We need to clear the screen. CD. Let's get the MS Learn. MS Learn that is okay. So we are in that folder now. We list what is there. We have okay. There are some preloaded files that we need to use, such as the requirement.txt and the .env file. Let's see what we have there. Okay. So here in this folder now we have this guy. So this is where we are going to pass our project endpoint and the deployment name. That's the name we use in the deployment, which is 5.4 model. We go to the model page, you should find the name here. So pass this name in this place. So we have that. So now pass the endpoint. Where is the endpoint can be found? Go to the overview page, and this is the endpoint. Be mindful not to call the whole of the part. When you are pasting your endpoint, you need to edit, stop at this point, remove up to. So this is when actually you remove the old. Okay, remove up to this point. Move from here, so that you don't call the full project part. Otherwise, it will not work. So we have that. Now the next thing will be to install this is supposed to be model. We need to install the requirement file, or maybe create a Python environment. Now to create a Python environment, we just get the stuff here. Let's use this. You can say yes to create and then switch to that. Now use the py command to install, activate the environment first of all. Okay, let's see. Let's set this down. Python environment. So this is the guy here. So let's go to cd.env. Then we now activate the environment. It's not recognized as okay. Let me switch this to git bash. I think I'm actually in the PowerShell. Play. Okay, so let's go to this folder called app deployment. That's the Audio-Enabled directory. Let me restart my terminal. I'm not quite sure why it's showing that error. Okay, so I'm in the Python environment already. That's why you see this. So let's go to CD audio enable app. Then we go to CD MS. Okay, so we have it. Now we need to install the requirement file, which is right here. To install the requirement file using the py command, we need to just copy this guy. Now, while that is being the requirement file are being installed, let's explore our main code, which is the chat audio-chat.py. So this is where the project code lies. Here we set the environment configuration as this. So this env file is being called from in this place. Now we will add a code here, a code block here to initialize the client, the project client, which Microsoft also has provided that code here. So this is it. This particular one. So we need to import the Azure identity, the default Azure credentials, and also import the Azure AI project as well. So we need to add this code within that initialize client. No, under the references. So we need to add it here. Now another step is to initialize the project client endpoint. Let's do, okay, so by adding this code, although it's the same thing with the one that go to populate, but let me just copy this one and replace it with this. I think Amazon Q will actually do that. So I'll just add it. The indentation is also important. You know, Python pay attention to indentation. So we have that added. We have the initialized project client added, and all our requirement has been installed. Sure. So we go to, we need to add the client chat client interface, which is this guy. We also need to, so now we need to add encode the audio file. From Microsoft, we have the audio file linked to, but I can add it from my own local file, my pad here. But let me get the one that they provided on this link. So this link talks about an audio that speaks to avocados. So we just pick this code and add at this point. Take note of the indentation. We can actually use this to indent this well. So let's see the properly indent. So now we have the file added. So we need to add the get response audio input code block, and that is this one. So here, the response comes from OpenAI client.chat completions. And the model that we just deploy, then the message body will be called. I'm calling MP3, depending on the file that was loaded in that link. So we have this now. Now we have added this. I just need to do the indentation. So okay, let me pick this. So the indentation is correct now. Okay. So now we have added all the code that we have. Let's see. I think there are some exceptions here. It doesn't do that last part. So the last part I added, I think actually, so get the response. Let's go back to this guy. So we need to properly indent it. Now that the code has been added, let's save changes and see. I'm wondering, this is supposed to, okay, the message body, and then this one. So we have it now. Let's leave it. Now what we need to do is to check out, is to run the application by, we are already in the directory, so we need to run the audio-chat.py server. So to see, so we need to do Python audio-chat.py. So while that starts, we will have we'll just pass in something like question and expect our app to answer based on the fact that we have linked our endpoint and the deployment name here. So now here, the system is prompting you to ask a question about the audio on this URL. There's an audio here. So what you need to do is just to ask one question. Remember, you need to log in if you haven't authenticated to Azure. So you can ask this question: can you summarize this customer's voice message? So if you ask the question by pasting it here and ask, it will generate a get response return and give you the summary of what is embedded on the audio on this link. Oh, I think it didn't return any response. Let's check the code back. Under the get decline, initialize. Okay, let's quit this first. Sorry, I don't type it. Let's press Ctrl Z, C to stop it. So let's go to the requirement to be sure. Requirement are actually made and install. Everything is there. Let's see. Already, okay, satisfied. So let's try to run the app again. Let's see. So file path is this guy. It's not picking. Okay. So let's see what the model we deployed that is actually 5.4 multimodal. So it is. So let's check the, okay, I'm coming. It's like I missed this line. Let's see our code. If that, the get response has that, okay. We missed the line in the get response audio input. So we need to include a line here. That should print the response, the choices, and then the message content. So now let's quit this and then rebuild the app and no restart the backend and say, oh sorry, this is so let's start the app again. Let me save changes. This should be should okay. So picking the question, summarizing this, the audio content for us. So it summarizes it by saying that the customer from Fort Coffee calls to update their order for the next month, requesting an additional 5 pounds of avocados. So now if you want to, you can go on to change this file path with different audio tone. Microsoft also has provided us with this, which you can change it to another audio part. Like you can change this to another part to be this one. Let's see. So you can change that part to a different audio, which is this one. Then save and then quit the first one and restart the app to summarize the different audio. Now let's ask a question about that. I think there's a question sample, this one. If you ask sensitive information, so can you summarize this customer's voice? Is it time sensitive? So you just get the response. So you can go ahead to experiment with others. So now it gives us a different response and asking that the customer name Sarah is that the customer Sarah is a salesperson at Kentoso Cake Shop in Midtown, Manhattan, preparing for this. So you can ask question about that the customer wants to order about 2 boxes of strawberries. So you can also go ahead and ask question about key takeaway point, key takeaway from maybe what are the key takeaway from the customer's request. So you can ask a question, it will also give you an answer. Now, for like I mentioned before, we need for you to also explore this on the portal. We will need to deploy a speech service. So for you to deploy speech service, go to your Foundry dashboard within Azure portal, then deploy a speech service. Quickly, we have 5 minutes. So the speech service is just, we have put it in the resource group, the same this audio-enabled speech service. So I'll just leave it at free tier. So just create. Now here on the playground, if you want to play around with the model we deploy, since I've deployed the speech service, if you want to enable that, so that right on the playground you can apply speech rather than just chat. Now if you click on the mic icon, let me increase the size of my browser for you to see. If you click on this chat audio icon to ask you to deploy a speech service to enable the audio. So you select the subscription and select the speech service that we created earlier. Enables speech to text and also enable text to speech. What this means is that it will give you, you can translate speech like an audio that we just do the summary right now. You can translate it to text. You can also translate text to speech. So you can select, there are a lot of pre-built voice configuration provided by Microsoft. You can pick anyone that works for you. We don't have much time. Let's just pick anyone. Then the speed of maybe when they are speaking. If you want to, just as if you are watching a video, you want to skip it, you want to make it maybe faster, you want to speak faster and all that. Depends on what you need. So you can also add some of the pre-built messages here. Let me just decrease this a bit so I'll be able to see the. You need to acknowledge that you're going to incur some costs, some usage charge to your subscription. So you can just, let's use the default and then deploy it. Now for here, you can also go from here to the speech service studio and play around with some of the pre-built templates provided by Microsoft. Now our audio has been enabled right now. So if you want to try it out, let's see, you need to allow your mic. Now let's, if you speak to it, like this, the speech, the speaker is enabled now. If you wanted to read, maybe get a text, let me get something. Let me get this text. Let me just get this text. That we are trying out the text to speech right now. Yes, paste this, and then prompt it to read out what you just pasted now. Let's prompt read out the above content. Let's see what happens. Let's see. So if that doesn't work, you can go to sorry, let me check something. This is not picking the way I wanted to pick. Okay, let's add a voice. Let's test the audio. I have some pre-downloaded audio from that. The audio. Okay, let me download this one. From this page, we have some those audio that we just get the summary of the text. Can download one. This location is that. Okay. So let's go over here and upload. Sorry, let me just. So we have this avocado file.
No, it's time to round up.
Okay. Okay. So I'm almost done. Okay, now let's come to the speech interface based on the resource we deployed, the speech resource we deployed. So now here, I think it will be more, it will function here properly. Let me see. Let me clear this or browse to add a file. Added this, I can add this file and see. So now if I want it, that's a file. You see to translate it to text, that's the audio. So it's still doing the same thing that we are trying to deploy here and all that. So the here has given us the summary of the audio that we just upload, and even in the speech deck, speech studio, you can also get that. You can also record because we have enabled that. So this is what I'm just recording myself right now as I'm speaking. So that is what we needed to achieve. So for you to key takeaway is that for you to embed this solution, this model into your real life application, you need the API key, the endpoint, and the model deployment name, and the also the model version and all that. So you can implement from this template. We have the category, speech to text, text to speech, and also some of the speech capabilities by scenario. Okay, thank you very much, Promise, for having me,
Awesome.
and thank
Thank
you
you very
very
much,
much.
Imo. I think it was interesting having you here handle this session for us. So thank you so much regarding that. Also, I would like to say thank the audience who actually have spent some time, trying to get some interesting details about this topic. So I'll say thank you for everyone who took some time to enjoy this particular session delivered to us by MVP Omar. So MVP Omar, it was great having you here once more. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Promise. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mo. All right. I would like to say, in case you are not updated on our community details, please don't hesitate to sign up on our meetup page. Go there, register on the meetup page, and also on our LinkedIn page as well. Don't hesitate to follow us on our LinkedIn pages. And of course, we will update you on the next session coming up. So, till the next time, I'd like to say thank you once more again for listening. My name is none other than Promise Uche Unwachku, also Microsoft MVP for AI and Azure. You can always look me up on LinkedIn and follow me on my LinkedIn page. Thank you very much once again. It's been awesome having you here on this session. Bye bye, all.